The following video contains descriptions of serious mental illness and talks about suicide. Many viewers may find such content triggering. Please watch at your own discretion. Thank you. Hello everyone, it's Griffin. I've made a second video within the next day because, the last one was kind of an intro and I wanted to get down to the real stuff. Today I'm going to talk about suicide, he says in a cheerful tone. Actually, this week is Suicide Prevention Week, and I had a lot of thoughts that I wanted to put together and share. It's a really heavy subject to tackle, but I want to talk about the things I care about. We'll start with the facts. Suicide is unfortunately common. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death overall in the United States, and the second leading cause of death among 15 to 24-year-olds in the United States, second. According to the same source, an estimated 250,000 of people each year become suicide survivors, meaning they attempted suicide and survived. There is one death by suicide in the world every 40 seconds, according to the World Health Organization. I would tell you more facts and more numbers and statistics, but I think it's important to tell you what I know from my own experience. But the first person I ever knew who committed suicide was my great aunt. I was about 10 years old, give or take, and my mom got a call that my great aunt shot herself in the head. My great aunt was a talented writer, and she had a very sharp wit and good sense of humor, and she was very smart, very devoted to her cats. One Christmas, she knitted me this little, I don't know what it was supposed to be, and it was like shrunk and weird, and she put a letter with it saying, I tried to knit you something, but, you can just use this to clean up the cat box. That was her sense of humor. And I remember feeling very confused at the time. I was wondering why she did it, how unhappy someone would have to be to do it, and I remember sitting with my dad's family as they read her suicide note and went through her will, and I don't think I'll ever forget, what that was like, what that moment was like, even though I don't even remember exactly what she said. And years went by, and in my mid-teens, I had a lot of friends who struggled with depression and suicide. I would try to be supportive to them, and it was always very rough. And years later, I had my own experiences with it. When I was 18, I became very seriously mentally ill. I had severe depression and PTSD and an eating disorder. And I spent just about every waking moment of my life inundated with flashbacks and fear and sadness and emptiness. And, as a result, I struggled with suicidal ideation. I stopped eating, partially to gain control over the constant inner and outer chaos, but also because I didn't really want to live anymore, so I had no reason to. I went to the emergency room because I feared that if I were left alone, I might lose control and end my own life. Things did start to look up. However, yay! I'm doing better now. I got a therapist who helped me out immensely. I went through eating disorder treatment, and I went on medication, and with the support of my medical team and my friends and family, I made it through the worst of my depression and PTSD and my eating disorder. Recovery is a complicated thing. I can't say that I woke up one day and I was better. I still struggle sometimes, but I can proudly say that I am here before you today, alive and glad to be. I recently got a job. I've been going on dates. I picked up photography. I've been making lots of friends. I'm part of a wonderful chorus. I plan to move out of my parents' house sometime soon. Therapists, friends, and family members have said that I seem to be on the upswing, and, when I look at the evidence, I have to believe them. This is hard to talk about. It's a lot to share with all of you, and I'm always aware, this week especially, that there is someone who needs to hear it. If you've ever attempted suicide or struggled with suicidal thoughts or depression, know that you are not alone. There are many people, you can tell just from reading those statistics, that have gone through the same thing. You don't have to look very hard to find them. As one of my favorite poets, Andrea Gibson, said in her poem The Nutritionist, "To the chandelier of your fate hanging by a thread, to every day you could not get out of bed, to the bullseye on your wrist, to anyone who has ever wanted to die. I have been told sometimes the most healing thing to do is remind ourselves over and over and over other people feel this too." If you ever feel suicidal, please call the National Suicide Lifeline at 1-800-237-8255 or call 911. If you are a queer or trans youth, you can call the Trevor Project at 866-488-7386. And ultimately, I don't know what your mental health journey will be or what your life is like, but I promise you're a lot stronger and more resilient than you think. You are lovable and important, and there is someone out there who wants to help you. I believe that every person was born to do something amazing. Even you, especially you. Actually, if you ever do something you're proud of or that you think is amazing, tell me about it. Send me a message, leave it in the comments. I want to hear about it. Thank you, everyone, and I will leave the resources and numbers and things in the description, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you.